Peace fam, what's poppin'? Let me ask you a question. You ever been sitting on the toilet, taking a shit, your stomach grumbling, hurting, all of that, you trying to get the shit out, but nothing is coming out? We call this constipation. You already know what this is. Y'all probably experience it on a daily basis. This is what happens when we treat our internals like shit, you know what I'm saying? Half of us are eating soul food every day or just eating out every day. We gonna get down to the bottom of why you feel constipated every day in this video. You don't have to sit there those lonely nights on the cold toilet having a shit and nothing is coming out and it feel like you're wasting your time. So let's get straight into this. If y'all like this type of content, as always, leave a like on the video, subscribe, become a part of the family, all that type of shit. But let's get into it. We're gonna get straight into it, y'all. The first one is lack of fiber or water content. These can vary a little bit because water, you could argue that water is fiber, but at the same time, it's not. Water usually is just used to like flush our cells and give us more oxygen in our bodies. What we actually need is more fiber too. What comes in the form of fiber is what we call high density lipoproteins. If you remember in my cholesterol video, we talked about two different types of cholesterols, which were low density lipoproteins and high density lipoproteins. These low density lipoproteins create cell fats and they create cell membranes. So when you have a buildup of them, they get clogged in your system, clog your arteries, make it harder for your blood to flow, and make it harder for your machine, being your physical body, to do and operate how it wants to. When you have more high density lipoproteins, it heightens the density, thus pushing more pressure through your bloodstream, giving you more blood flow, giving you more fluctuation of the blood. Like we said before, your blood is your oil. So however your blood is flowing and the efficiency of it is dependent on how your body is doing all the natural jobs that it does for you on a daily basis. So you should really look into these things. Getting hydrated, not only staying hydrated and making sure you have enough flushing of water through your system, but also making sure you're not just drinking water. You also want to have fiber, drink fruit juices, drink smoothies. You want to drink something that's actually got some good content, minerals inside of it with you. I like to drink coconut water. I mainly drink coconut water, more than I even drink regular water nowadays. The next thing that's probably leaving you constipated as hell is refined carbohydrates. When I'm talking about refined carbohydrates, I'm talking about white rices, pastas, all of these type of things. Not really even the white rices, it's mainly the doughy foods that I'm talking about within refined carbohydrates. If you don't know what refined carbohydrates do, they actually have an excessive amount of sugar and your body breaks them down excessively fast. So you have to produce a lot of insulin to counteract all of that sugar being produced inside of your system. When that's happening, that insulin goes and it kills all of your testosterone. So then you are more vulnerable to like sicknesses, diseases, unknown bacteria within your gut. It's way harder to get rid of these things or to adapt to them when you don't have as much testosterone in your body. We got to remind people that testosterone is not just a thing that make you a man or like make you more manly, but testosterone is also a thing that helps to fend off viruses within your microbiome and the different internals within your body. So you should take care of those things. And I just recommend laying off the doughy foods. I'm not saying you ain't got to eat bread at all. You don't have to eat all cakes, muffins, donuts. That shit slap. I just ate some pancakes this rising, bro. But at the same time, you just got to know how to have like a balance with it. You know what I'm saying? Don't eat too much refined carbohydrates. Don't eat white rice every night. Don't eat all these different things that's constantly making you have to use what you already have in your body to heal yourself instead of like having stuff, healing things come into your body. Another reason why you might be constipated is because your gut is overwhelmed. A reason why your gut may be overwhelmed, and this is real common for a lot of people, is because you eat too close to going to bed. What is happening when you go into bed is you gotta think about it. Your stomach acid, when you lay down, is spreading the volume of it. So it's decreasing your ability to break down the things that are within your stomach. So it's really elongating that, and then it's also causing inertia for things to sit in your stomach and create nothingness, which actually is not just creating nothingness, it's actually creating toxic gases that's then creating residues in your system, which leads to things like leaky gut and also you feeling shitty. You have to realize that when you are not treating your body a certain type of way, there are things that you're gonna be missing, like brain power. You're gonna be missing physical energy within the day. You're gonna be missing a lot of different things, brain fog, all these different types of aspects. The thing that you can do to counteract this is start intermittent fasting. Usually what I do is I never eat before 12. And I think it's super smart. You should never eat before 12 in my opinion, especially if you get up around like 7, 8, you know what I'm saying? That's the time I usually get up. I wait till 12. I fast all the way up until then. Even if I get up at 6, you know what I'm saying? What I'm doing for my body is I'm spreading out that energy bar. Think about it. You got so many different faculties as a human being, but you only have one energy bar. You got to use that one energy bar for all these different faculties. So when you decide to start being more smart and conscious and start distributing that energy a little bit more by intermittent fasting, not taking up all of your energy towards your gut, having to digest stuff that is hard for you to digest, that you can't even get minerals from in the first place, but to actually start eating at optimal times, actually start eating when you're hungry. You're not hungry when your stomach is rumbling and it's like had that little feeling, that empty feeling. That just means that your white blood cells are activated. They want some hot food. Your addiction is starting to like come into contact, you know what I'm saying, that withdrawal. You could tell if you're hungry by if your mouth is watering and stuff like that, and if you would eat anything, if any food sounds appealing. These are just things that y'all should be taking into consideration for yourself. All right, y'all, the final 2 things that can cause your constipation that we're gonna be talking about today. 1, excessive laxative consumption. If you don't know what a laxative is, it's a solution that we use as a stimulant to make us shit, to empty out our bowels. And while laxatives can be helpful to a certain point, just if you need to in the moment and you're trying fiber and it's not working, yeah, laxatives can help. But what you're doing when you're taking excessive amounts of laxatives, if you depend on laxatives to poop every day, just know that you have a debilitated bowel system. Like all of the things that digest your food and that helps it break down and process and empty out of your system are malfunctioned and they having major trouble. Think about you doing push-ups. The more you do push-ups, the better you get at them, the more that you can take. But the less that you do push-ups, the less that you can take. So it's like the same with your internal organ. If you're not using them at all, your body is sentient enough to where it will realize your lack of activity in that area and be like, hey, this isn't essential. So we'll take the energy that this was being used for and use it for something else. And I'm not a super expert, so I can't tell you what it's gonna be used for, but I can tell you that you're gonna have way more problems in the future using laxatives. You're just gonna have way more inflamed organs and different things that are just fucking your system up. Now, when it comes to the red meats, the reason why this happens is because farm-raised animals, we all know that they are treated terribly. We all know that they are fed corn and all these different things that we can't digest that produce inflammation inside of our own internal organs. When we are passing that nutrients down, it actually is getting into us and we are creating excessive amounts of saturated fat. Think about it, because not only does the corn content that the animal eat get inside of your system and cause inflammation, but also all the natural inflammation in big fatty like cells that can't, and all these different fats that can't even fit inside the cells of your human body that you eat. So you're constantly overwhelming yourself with all these things. And then on top of that, if you have lack of fiber, if you don't eat that many vegetables, you are gonna have some crazy shits. I know y'all done had some shits where y'all feel like it's a fucking spike ball coming out your asshole. And the reason is because you need more fiber in your system. You add a little bit of fiber, you don't have to go crazy, bro. You don't even have to have it be half of what you eat. But you gotta have a little bit of fiber in there. Drink some juice, add a little bit of kale, add some greens, some spinach, whatever you like. Add a little vegetable you like, season that joint up. In most cases, most of y'all don't like vegetables because y'all never had no vegetables that was seasoned for real. You wouldn't even like meat if it wasn't even seasoned. And seasoning come from plants anyway. I'm not here to convince y'all to stop eating meat. I think that meat can be sustainable. I don't think that the whole world could survive off everybody being vegan. I think that people should eat meat. But at the same time, you gotta realize when your meat consumption is excessive in the quality of meat that you actually eat, because it's literally just a transference of nutrients within your body. So, or if you are transferring these farm-raised ones with the corn and the extra hormones, then that's what you're getting passed down to you. But if you're getting some grass-fed or something that was out in natural nature and you caught it yourself, then you're getting all of those natural different bacteria that are out here in the nature, you know what I'm saying? And you are allowing those to adapt to your microbiome in your gut, and it makes you stronger. So it's a big difference between that. If you don't want to be constipated no more, we just gave you like a couple different reasons why you might be constipated. So if you're doing any of this shit on this list, just stop doing it or slow it down. You know what I'm saying? Let me know if y'all feel like I missed anything in this video. If it's something that I could have said that a lot of us know about in the spiritual community that I didn't mention in the video, because this is just my own little personal list. But y'all, we gotta start taking care of ourselves, because it's a reflection of what you think of yourself. And then you don't want to be suffering on like your last years on the earth anyways. Like when you get old as hell, like everybody want to live long, but you don't want to suffer when you live long, you know what I mean? You don't have to take 1 billion prescriptions. You want to be able to live healthy and still be active. You like life right now because you're young and you want it to stay that way. If you lose your youth, your life is going to be completely different and you're going to be way more depressed, and then you probably won't want to live here no more. But beyond that, remember what y'all projecting out here. This is the third dimension, so whatever you're experiencing, you're going to ultimately be, so whatever you projecting, you ultimately going to be experiencing it yourself. Keep doing yourself. Keep doing your thing out here. Keep loving yourself. Stay in tune with yourself. Just remember that.